Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Monday. Of course, let's turn our attention now to Tenpin bowling in particular. Of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now. Of course, one over our Zoom call, one here in the studio. Of course, we've got Emily on the Zoom call, and of course, we've got Beck here in the studio. Thanks both of you for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about the Tenpin bowling season so far.
Beck, you can go first.
Oh, gee, thanks. So I can only really comment on the open ranks. So we've had a ranked event in Queensland, Sun City Women's Open, and we've had our state championships in Victoria. I think every state has had their state championships. And we've got our next ranked event in Victoria this weekend coming.
For the youth side, we've had one tournament so far. It was in Keon Park. Otherwise, I've had my state championships in South Australia. Other than that, it's not a lot. I'm going to Melbourne this weekend for the open event. But yeah, nothing too much into the later in the year.
How's the preparations been like for the Melbourne event this weekend without giving too much away to each other?
No game plans. Well, for myself, I guess I've been training as much as I can, mentally and physically. Tenpin bowling is a lot of a mental game as well as a physical game. So yeah, there's a lot on and off the lanes for me, nothing out of the ordinary. We've had a bit of a build up, I suppose. We went to Hong Kong over January, so that was a big event. We haven't really had a big break at all, so yeah, that's lots of bowling.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like fine tuning everything, making sure everything feels intact and everything like that. It's been like one thing after another, as Beck said, tournaments, local tournaments, just training, just fine tuning everything.
For everyone here in Melbourne that should spend their Easter watching Tenpin bowling, whereabouts is it this weekend?
At Zone Bowling in Frankston.
Oh, okay.
Yes, nice and close for some of us. Not so much for Emily, who has to come from another state. But yeah, definitely one of the bigger ones on the calendar. The actual format for this one is a little different for the women. Okay. We bowl over 3 days, so that's also a little bit different. Normally your events are over the 2 days on the weekend, so there's 2 days of qualifying, and then the final is on this Sunday, where we match up with there's two different divisions in this one for the women. So you've got your scratch, your open division, and then you have your handicap or graded division. So it's based on average, and basically it's your top 10 out of each. I'm pretty sure it's top 10 now. Top 10 out of each division get married up. So your first open or scratch bowler gets paired with the 10th place graded or handicap division, and then it gets like 2, 9, type of thing all the way up. And then you bowl as a doubles for the final. Whereas the men for the basically Australian Open and Vic 150 are bowled simultaneously. So Vic 150 is for the females and the Australian Open is for the men. The men is just straight singles event for them.
Yeah, that's pretty well, really good explained. Yeah, I don't really have much more to add to the tournament. I've only bowled in a few times, and every time it's been like either top 12 or top 10. So yeah, I'm not really 100% sure. So yes.
How did you go at your respective state championships?
I did very well. Because you bowl singles, doubles, and teams events, and then there's a masters event as well. So I was lucky enough to do quite well in all divisions, and won the Victorian State Masters for the women. So that was a nice a nice accomplishment.
Yeah.
For mine, I won the Youth Masters, so that's like the under 21 for the females, and I come third in the Open Women's Masters. Yeah.
Are you happy with your state championship results, or did you feel you could do a bit better?
I was very happy.
I was extremely happy with returning from Hong Kong and having like a few weeks off, then going straight into state champs. It was like pretty much back to back. So it was like I have a week off and I was back into it. So I was pretty happy with it. Third in the women's when I was bowling some of the best South Australian bowlers. I couldn't be more proud of myself, really.
So both of you went to Hong Kong recently. Tell us, how was the experience of bowling overseas, especially in an Asian country?
You're bowling against the world's best. The Asian zone is world class, absolute world class, and a few of the Malaysians are actually proving that as we speak. So they're over on the PBA tour at the moment. A few of the guys have made the trek over there and are doing extremely well. You know, making step ladder finals and proving how good they are. A couple of the girls have done a few stints over in the US before. So you are bowling against world-class athletes. So very difficult for countries like us who are more amateurs. You know, we all have full-time jobs and pay our own way, and we're bowling against countries who are fully funded and have government help. So we're behind the eight ball a bit, but the experience of bowling overseas is phenomenal. To be able to mix with those people, the experience and the knowledge that you gain is amazing. Yeah.
It's like incredible. Like I've been on a few overseas trips before going to Hong Kong, and it was amazing to see the different athletes you meet and the friendships you make throughout the whole bowling experience. But to be at the World Cup bowling against some of the best in the world at only 18, it was amazing. I watched them on TV and I'm like, whoa. And then being out there and versing them, it was an amazing experience. And it's definitely something that people should definitely look into, like either bowling as much or even just watching it to learn some new things. It was amazing.
After this weekend, what's next for both of you?
Well, for me, I'm not entirely sure that the next couple of events, but I'll be definitely, my name is down for the Australian ANC. So that is bowled at the end of August, I think it is, from memory. So it's a big team event based up in Sun City, Queensland. So I bowled it last year for the first time, and it was great, amazing experience, and I love team events, so that was even better. So that's for me, and then a couple of the ranked events still left at the end of the year. Yeah, so that's my view.
Yeah.
I have a youth tournament in July, and then another ladies event, but I'm off to the US for college. So I've just made a college team at Sam Houston. So I'm off to Texas in August. So only a few more tournaments before I leave. So just trying to fine tune everything for those tournaments, and then off in August.
So how long is that going to be for, Em?
4 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, back and forth for be over there bowling and then be home for a little bit. But yeah, over the 4 years.
For both of you, where did the love of Tenpin bowling start, and what does it mean now?
So my love started when I was about 10. I think about 10 when I started. Just as a junior. Was never really a sporty kind of person. Dabbled in netball and things like that, and was okay, but didn't really excel. Came to bowling and found that I could bowl, and progressively learned and grew within the sport. I had a bit of a time off because I've had 3 kids, so there was a maybe 10-year sort of hiatus where in the middle I had time off. But for me, it's what I live and breathe, really. Yeah, so it is a part of me, it's just something that I love to compete. So that's very much still a drive for me. Yeah.
For me, I started when I was about 4.5, so I was just doing it for fun with one of my friends, and then I started getting coaching. And then once the coaching started, I was traveling to Melbourne for our junior championships in April, and then it just excelled. So I bowled my first President Shield team at the age of 10, made uh went to different interstate teams, made the national training squad. Then over the last few years, I've been overseas, sorry. So yeah, it's just like really excelled. And now I even work there for the last few years. So if I'm not bowling myself, I'm teaching younger kids on little pointers and everything like that.
Okay, so you might as well give your local bowling centre a bit of a shout out.
Yes, Bowland Salisbury, they have been my rock. Been there ever since I was a little girl. So
Yeah, I bowl now at Zone Bowling in Frankston. Have done for the best of 10 years, who have been ridiculously supportive of my bowling career. So very thankful for them. Yeah.
So, Beck, considering this weekend is on your home floor in particular, without giving too much away to Em, how special is it to play at Frankston this weekend?
It's always great to bowl in your home centre, because we bowl on different conditions, different bowling patterns. So every person that is bowling, I guess, it doesn't really have an advantage, so to speak. But the travel does help. So I'm not traveling, 8-9 hours, to get here. I'm traveling 20 minutes down the road. So that takes its toll on the people who are coming from interstate. My partner and my eldest are also bowling at different times, so that also takes a bit of a toll because you're there for lots and lots of hours. But yeah, very, very nice to be in a centre where you feel at home. Yeah.
I'm assuming you've been on the road fair bit, considering obviously, especially coming here to Melbourne. Anything that you're hoping to achieve when you're down here in Melbourne in regarding to, the condition wise and the way that you're going to bowl?
I'm just hoping to make cut for the third day. Fingers crossed everything works in my favor and I bowl the best I can. Hopefully matching up with the right equipment to the oil condition is my number one hope. But guess we'll see how Friday plays and Saturday plays, and then fingers crossed for Sunday.
So I'm assuming obviously there's no such thing as a long weekend for both of you, I guess. So obviously been the Easter long weekend. Do you get any time off at all? Considering I'm assuming that you do play technically on public holidays and different times of the year.
Yeah, not really. Probably Em would be probably busier than what I would be too, because she's got youth events as well in between the women's open events. So she might, like this weekend, for example, bowl in our open women's, but then she might still be bowling youth events as well. So it's probably less time for her actual tournament wise. But there hasn't really been a big break for me in the calendar. They're kind of spread quite a fair way across the calendar, aren't they?
Yeah, I found last year was very stuck together and it was tournament every weekend. This year seems a bit more spaced out a little bit. So I've had that little bit of a break between the youth and the women's. I think I had a month break. And then that's just my personal training and everything like that. But between ranked events, it's probably a good month, maybe 2 months between them, just to try and space them out. And they're not always in the same state or centre. There's up in Queensland to then Melbourne to then sometimes even Sydney. So it just depends.
So any future ambitions in Tenpin bowling for both of you?
My ambition always will, and until it actually happens, is to win a medal for my country.
Yeah.
That's something that I've not succeeded in yet. So we've been closer, every now and again you get a little close and you get a bit of a sniff and it makes you more hungry. So that would definitely be my ultimate goal. Yeah.
Obviously going over to college bowling in August, I want to bring the team to hopefully win some tournaments. Hopefully just fit myself right in with the team and even just win a few more tournaments before I leave. That would be an amazing opportunity to really show Australia and the world who I really am.
So I said I was going to come back to college, and obviously just prompt me again to ask you this question. So whereabouts is your college that you're going to in the US?
So I'm going to Sam Houston State. So they are located in Texas.
Yep.
So yes.
I'm assuming, you've done a bit of research on how they've been traveling.
A lot of research. I've been watching them with the time difference and everything. It works out to be 12:30, 1 o'clock our time, watching them while it's only morning there. They've been bowling incredible. Their two bowlers are off to another tournament this weekend, which is amazing. So I'll be watching on to see how they go again. But yeah, it's just amazing to see even the college and bowling. It's a crazy.
What's the one thing you want to take out of college?
Just like keep improving, more information, learning heaps new things. Like I've been talking with the coach and I've learning heaps and I'm not even over there yet. Um, yeah, it's just bowling with different equipment, trying new things, bowling in different formats of tournaments, really. They've got some like teams, they've got singles, and then they've got Baker. So we don't really do a lot of Baker here, which will be good to like obviously in Hong Kong we did it, but I wasn't really confident in Baker because we don't do it a lot in Australia, but that's something they do a lot over in the US.
Okay, so for both of you, for anyone that has no idea what Baker is in bowling, what is it?
Baker is so you have like yeah, the way we did it in Hong Kong, we have four bowlers, and you each take it in turns to bowl it, but you have your designated like shot frames. So whoever bowls your first frame will bowl the first, the fifth, and the ninth. And then the second bowler will bowl your second, your sixth, and your 10th shot. And then your third and fourth bowlers will bowl only two frames. So the third will bowl the seventh, and then the fourth will bowl the eighth. So it's just like you take it in turns, but hopefully, like trying to work out each shot at a time, really.
How did you adjust to that Baker over in Hong Kong?
It's always tricky because you're bowling with bowlers who we've never bowled together before, so and one of our other members, Sam Clifton. So um, I bowl with Beck Whiting, who's my best mate, every week, multiple times a week. So we didn't have an issue with learning, sort of what we do together. But it's a different situation when you're thrown into an international event, bowling with bowlers who you haven't actually bowled in a team before. So everyone's got their own personalities and way that they think and act and do. So um, that's always a tricky thing to come together at one event without having the lead up, the practices, to fine tune how everyone um, bounces off each other. And how you play the lanes, because how you play the lanes dictates what your team members do too. So you'll try and figure it out together. You're playing on an invisible playing field, so you really got to work together. And when you're not used to bowling with that group of four, and you're bowling such an important event like the World Cup, it can be really tricky for us. But I think we did a great job. The four of us coming together. I think we all had a great time, and we definitely learned a lot about each other's bowling for sure in Hong Kong.
Yeah, 100%.
Great segue, Beck, to my next question I'm going to ask both of you. What have both of you learned from each other on and off the Tenpin bowling lanes?
I hadn't really spent much time with them, like personally, sort of until Hong Kong. I know, and I've always seen, she's a workhorse, and she's definitely a sponge. That's a good thing. So yeah, she's very driven. Great team bowler. Wouldn't blink an eyelid to have another go at a team event with them.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really bowled with her. Like as I just aged out of juniors last year, she's always been like an adult bowler, female bowler that you look up to and you look at, especially now that I'm in a wrist guard, Beck is in a wrist guard, just like the similarities in our shot is always something to watch in her tournaments, how well she does, and just like looking at different things. Like I know many bowlers that look up to even Victorian bowlers, just their amazing like training schedules, everything like that growing up. So I think having that opportunity bowl with Beck in Hong Kong, it was just amazing to have that like face-to-face conversation about it all. But yeah, definitely have like would want to go on a trip with her again.
What will be your advice to our listeners here in Victoria for you, Beck, and obviously for you, Em, in South Australia, that should get involved in Tenpin bowling, even though I know there's not many bowling centres around, especially here in Melbourne in particular?
Yeah, a few of them are closing, unfortunately. Definitely encourage anyone to get involved in the sport, regardless of your ability. It is a sport for any ability whatsoever. So, yeah, we have, and any age as well. So from very, very little, well, yeah, Em, you said you started at 4. So, from any age, and we've got league bowlers that are still bowling in their 80s or 90s. So yeah, definitely a sport for anybody.
Yeah, I think the same. Like even with the limited bowling centres, try and find one that is found for you. Bowling is it's like on the outer, and I think we need more people to bring it back. When I first started, there was heaps of bowlers, either socially or in league. Now, because the bowling centre is obviously closing, I think we need more social bowlers to just give it a go. Give it a go, see how fun, enjoyable it is. And it doesn't have to be in league bowling. Regular social bowling, I think just bring it all in. I think it will be good.
Any pre-competition superstition, ritual, or routine for both of you?
So if something's working day one, I will be quite bad actually at trying to copy everything.
Oh,
yeah. But the number one thing actually is so I do like a little bit of heavy metal. So listening to Parkway Drive, Deliver Me before
yes.
I bowl. That's a big one. That'll get you pumped up.
And I do know that song, so I can relate to that song. Yep. Go, Em.
I don't find I do have any like superstitions or anything. Maybe like even the night before, I like to load up on my carbs. I like a big bowl of pasta just so I then sleep really well the first night of the tournament. That's just, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a superstition, but that's just something I like to do before a big tournament.
Assuming you're going to do that before you come to Melbourne?
Yeah.
Any embarrassing moments in the bowling lane?
I've fallen over a few times. I broke my coccyx once by doing that. First shot of practice one night, I went up with a shoe cover. So on the bottom of your shoe,
oh yes,
so you put this cover on so you don't get anything on your shoe. So I walked up with the shoe cover still on my foot.
Oh no!
And I went to slide, and of course I didn't, and I stuck and arms and legs everywhere, and the ball flew up in the air. I landed in the gutter, and the ball landed right next to me.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I broke my coccyx. Yeah, that wasn't great. Yeah, and then had to bowl Rolling Thunder, which was a televised event. I think it was 2 weeks after.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was not great. Sorry, go.
No, that's okay. I don't think I've the only like it's not embarrassing for me. I was bowling a junior tournament, like an adult and a junior tournament with my dad, and he slipped on the bottom of his pants. He was in like fleecy pants, and he ended up doing the splits on the lane. But that's embarrassing for him, not really me. Yeah, I don't really have anything falling over for myself though.
Wait for it.
It'll happen. Let's hope it's not this weekend, and Em. A comedian, best singer, best dancer on your respective teams.
100% sure. Like Um, I don't really like. It depends on the night, really. If I socialize with a lot of people, it just depends on who I'm near. And um, to be honest, I think I'm more the comedian down at the bowl when I'm bowling. I'm a bit of a social butterfly when I'm bowling league. I'll worry about my score when I'm on the lane, but once I'm off that lane, I'm talking to anyone. So I'm probably the chatterbox and the comedian down on the lanes. Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. No, I'm probably the opposite actually. When I'm bowling, I'm very much in my own little bubble. Yeah, I pretty much stick to where I am. But yeah, I don't know as far as anyone in the centre being renowned for yeah, being a comedian or or anything like that. I guess not. Yeah, not with us.
Okay, silly question I'm going to ask. Have you hit a perfect score?
I have 5 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't. I've come close many times. 279, just can't get past it.
Okay, Beck,
Mm.
following up from that,
Mm.
which of the 5 perfect scores was the best one you did?
I bowled one in America. So probably that. Just the fact that I bowled one overseas. It didn't mean anything at the time, but it was just like, as in to me, the fact that I bowled one overseas was good. I guess your first one's always meaningful, though, I suppose. So yeah, those two.
Okay, you must tell us what's your average score and the handicap.
So the handicap will adjust based on what league you're bowling in, because it depends on what the highest average is in the league at the time as to what the handicaps are. So yeah, I guess maybe averaging between 215 to about 215 maybe at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm averaging about 204 at the moment. So
yeah, it also depends on what league you're bowling in. So I bowl in 2 different leagues. And one of the leagues I bowl is a sports pattern league. So the oil pattern that they put down on the lane is actually different to what's called a house pattern. Basically, it's supposed to be harder than a house pattern. So if you're only bowling in a league that lays a sports condition down, your average is going to be normally less than what it would be on a house pattern. So that also gets taken into consideration as well. Yeah.
Now, obviously, we just mentioned about embarrassing moments a moment ago. I'm assuming, being amazing Tenpin bowlers, you just haven't had hit a gutter too much, have you?
Oh, okay. I think it's inevitable that you do every now and again. I think I quite often hit the ball off my ankle.
Oh, yes, I've done that. Yes.
Yeah, so I have a permanent bruise on my ankle from the amount of times I've hit it. But yeah, of course, that goes straight into the gutter.
Yeah.
yeah, I had a real bad, like my ankle would be always in the way. I'd find a way to hit my ankle all the time. I was going to invest in some long socks and put some padding in it at one point, but honestly depends on the pattern. If you're missing to the right, it could be an accidental, something could happen. Yeah, definitely there's a few gutters, but not this weekend, not from both of us.
No. Yes, bloody ankles. I do remember when I used to bowl myself. So
yeah.
But both of you, it is so awesome to have both of you on the show. Best of luck down at Frankston this weekend in the Easter long weekend, and I'm actually trying to head down there myself actually to watch you in action, and hopefully all goes well, and hopefully both of you definitely will get to day 3, which it's Easter Sunday. Yeah, Easter Sunday. Let's hope it all goes well for both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.